No, Sham, still your voice is not coming through. No.
Akarmani cha karmaya, akarma, that is, you don't see any external activity. See in external inactivity, karmic reaction. What is the example? If Arjuna says, I will go back to the forest, I will not fight this war, and I will take to meditation. Is this akarma? Krishna says it is not akarma. Why? Because you can see this. Arjuna may be in the forest. Arjuna may be saying, I'm adopting the path of renunciation. So it becomes artificial renunciation. While he is renouncing, his mind is still contemplating on the sense objects. Why? Because he's a Kshatriya. Engagement in fruitive activity continues at the mental level. So Krishna says it leads to action at the physical level. So just by renouncing action, even though you are a Kshatriya and your duty is to protect citizens, you will not achieve inaction, you will not achieve akarma. You may not be doing any action, but still you will incur karmic reaction. That's the essence of this. What does that happen? What does that lead to? It leads to bondage. Let's move to the next verse. This section describes the person's qualities who is in a state of inaction, akarma, although performing actions. Yasya sarve samarambha, kama sankalpa varjita, gnanagni dagda karmanam, tam ahu panditam buddha. His knowledge, gnana, burns up his actions. So what is Krishna saying here? Second. Yes. One is understood to be in full knowledge, where whose every act is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker whose fruitive action is burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So what is Krishna saying here? He's describing the qualities of a person in inaction, a detached worker. He works for the supreme. Yasya sarve samarambha. Arambha is beginning. Samarambha is to work in action which is free from desires. How does he engage? Kama sankalpa varjita. That is, he has no desire for the fruits. He's free from desire for sense gratification or self-enjoyment. He is working dutifully. He is discharging his prescribed duty. Gnanagni dagda karmanam. Seed of karma will be burned by this action of performing your prescribed action. Karma is reaction of activity. So he is not entangled in bondage. Knowledge burns up reaction. Tam ahu panditam buddha. That person is considered intelligent, enlightened. So if you want to renounce, do not renounce action. Renounce selfishness. Renounce the desire to earn, to enjoy the fruits of your action. That is the knowledge that Krishna is talking about. Tam ahu panditam buddha. Next verse. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya trupto nirashrayah karmani abhipravritto api naiva kinchit karoti sa. Do not renounce action, renounce selfishness. What is the translation? Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So the criteria Krishna is reinforcing again, not to give up karma, but give up attachment, give up selfishness. Even in 3.19, Krishna had said, Tasmat asakta satatam, karyam karma samachara, asakto hi acharan karma, param apnoti purusha. Tyaktva karma phalasangam is, tyakta means give up. Karma phalasangam, attachment. Don't be attached to the fruits. This is the beginning of cultivating knowledge. That is the entire philosophy of karma that Krishna is emphasizing to Arjuna. Nitya trupto nirashaya. Person is always satisfied by his own bliss. Nitya trupta. Be happy with what we have. Don't aspire for others' share of prosperity, victory, happiness. Don't compare. That's the essence. Nirashaya. Do not depend on the results. You should be independent of the results of action. Now, how do we understand this as per Varnashrama? Kshatriya, his dharma is fighting. So he will not incur any reaction if he fights. By engaging in action, he has no reaction. Brahmana is teaching. When Brahmana teaches, there is no reaction for his action. But if Brahmana were to reverse the role with Kshatriya and get into fighting, he will incur reaction. That is what Krishna is saying. Depend on Krishna. Follow the path of Varnashrama that Krishna has defined. Karmani abhipravrittu api. So you are engaged, but you are satisfied from within. Naiva kinchit akruti karoti sa. It is as good as you are not engaging in work. Give up attachment, be satisfied. That is the stage of Karma Yogi. Now you may be wondering, oh, well, this looks very exotic. How do I understand this? Now I am in Dham. I am in Vrindavan. I see many Babas out here who are, I am puzzled when I look at them. They have nothing with them. They have one, I think, pair of spare clothes, one blanket, and one small utensil to have food. They are not bothered about where their next meal comes from. As simple as that. That is naiva kinchit karoti sa. Do not depend on, oh, well, if I do this, I will get that. They are completely at the mercy of Krishna, even to the extent of taking care of their own body. All of us say work is worship. Is it really true? What Krishna is saying is worship is work. You worship me, I will take care of you. This is a sign of akarma. And this is such a profound understanding that after reading Gita, and I have been seeing Baba since time, so many times. I have visited Dham. But now when I look at them, I see they are more renounced, far enlightened than any one of us put together. Because they have surrendered completely to Krishna. Next verse. Nirasir yata chittatma tyaktva sarma parigraha sariram kevalam karma kurvannapnoti kilvisam. Be free from sense of proprietorship. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus, working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Kurvam napnoti kilvisam. So, to have akarma in karma, to have no reaction in action, there are 5 qualities that Krishna defines. Nirasir yata chittatma. Nirasir is free from desires. He has no desire for sense gratification, self-satisfaction. Yata chittatma. He is controlled in the mind. Chit and atma. Self-controlled. Tyaktva sarva parigraha. Has no accumulating mentality. Oh, well.
Hello. Walking
Yes, okay. Tyaktva sarva parigraha. The third quality has no accumulating mentality, no proprietorship. Shariram kevalam karma. That is the 4th quality. Means simply for body maintenance, he acts. What is minimum? He does that. Kurvam napnoti kilvisam. This is the 5th quality. Such a person will not be bound, will not incur any sins. So Krishna is saying how you can be doing karma which has no reaction, doing akarma. Now, it's like Srila Prabhupada in the purport describes that if you see an animal, it could be a horse, it could be a dog, it could be a cow, what is the relationship with its master? It has no proprietorship over its own body. It is completely at the disposal of the master. He says, and the master can use the animal, love the animal, or abuse the animal, but the animal does not respond, does not react. That should be the relationship of us with the Lord. Have no expectations. Whatever happens, happens for the good. Have faith. The faith of a horse, dog, to a man is unbelievable, unmatchable. He says, learn from these animals and try to have the same faith towards the Lord. This is the trait of a person who does akarma, action in inaction. Next verse. Yadrachalabha santusto dvandvatitu vimatsaraha samasiddhau asiddhau cha krutva pina nivadyate. Satisfied person is not bound by karma. He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, he is never entangled, although performing actions. Yadricha lava santusto. Whatever lava one gets by nature's own accord, by will of providence, he will be santusta with that. Being happy with what you have, with being happy with what you receive. Never complain, never compare. Dvandva atito vimatsaraha. This person goes beyond dvandva atito, duality. This is good, this is bad. The moment you say this is good or this is bad, you are either comparing or you are judging. Both are not what Krishna recommends. Vimatsaraha. Don't be envious. What is yours to have. What is others is for them to have. Do not compare him versus you and say, oh, he has more than me. The moment you do that, you are into a situation of misery. Be beyond dualities, victory, defeat. And Krishna says each one of them is like wind on water. When the wind blows strongly, there is high tide. When the wind weakens, there is low tide. Has the water changed? No. It is just the wind that comes and goes. And you should be like that. Allow the life to flow as it has to. Samasiddhau asiddhau. This is another quality. Because the person is not too possessive, he is not concerned about the results and stays fixed in duty. I will go on doing my duty because I understand that the success doesn't come only by my work. It also comes by my past reactions of my work, which I am not aware of. Krutvapi na nivadyate. Even if such person acts, he will not be bound. There is no entanglement. Let's move to the last two verses of this section. Gatasangasya muktasya gnanavastita chetasa yagna acharata karma samagram pravilyate. This yagna acharata karma leads to the next section of fourth chapter, transcendental knowledge. What is the translation? The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Gnana avastita chetasa, one who is situated in transcendence, one who is beyond material, one who is beyond the action of three modes. He is gnana avastita. He has that knowledge. So this is now coming to the conclusion. Gata sangasya muktasya. Sangha means attachment. Gata sangha means free from attachment. I am one whose attachment has gone away. One who is unattached. Muktasya. This person is liberated. Gnanavastita chetasa. Such a person's consciousness is situated in knowledge. Yagna acharata. Yagnaya acharata karma. Generally, people think yagna as fire sacrifice. That's what first image that comes to our mind. But that is only partial definition of yajna. The word yajna, the word sacrifice, is related to word sacred. So a person who acts in doing his karma as an offering to the Lord, that becomes yajna acharata, performs karma activity for the sake of yajna. We must also be aware that Lord Krishna also has a name which is called yajna. So yajna acharata karma, when we do our work as an offering to the Lord, that becomes akarma. Act for the sake of karma. Samagram pravilyate, that person's karma will merge into transcendence. His work will become transcendence. This is, so the verse 21, 22, 23 describes the perfection of karma yoga. The last verse of this section, one of the most beautiful verses. Brahmarpanam Brahma Haver, Brahmagno Brahmana Huta, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. What is now Krishna saying? If Yajna Acharata Karma is so, the path towards perfection, he is now saying how to do that Yajna in spiritual consciousness and reach our spiritual goal. It is a message for anyone who is on the path of sadhana bhakti. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Let's go verse line by line. Here, what is Brahma? It's not to be understood as Brahman. Here, it is understood to be as spiritual. So Brahman stands for different things in different contexts. Here, it is spiritual. Brahma, where instrument to offer oblations are spiritual. So what is Krishna saying is, make every step of your action a spiritual activity. Brahma Arpana, offer this. So Brahma Haver is the instrument to offer oblations. Make that spiritual. Brahma Gnau, Brahma plus Agni. So consider whatever you're offering as Brahma Gnau. Brahmana Hutam, the person who is doing the yajna is also spiritual. Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam. By performing the sacrifice in the spiritual mood, the destination that you attain is also spiritual. Brahma Karma Samadhina, the person is doing spiritual work. And what do you get by doing that? Samadhina, the person is absorbed in samadhi. So when one acts in the spirit of yajna, then all of his existence become like a sacrifice. So 6 Brahmas are defined here. Spiritual oblation, spiritual instrument, spiritual fire, spiritual person, spiritual destination, because you are engaged in spiritual activities. How do we actually imagine this to what is happening on the battlefield? The way to imagine this is Krishna is telling Arjuna, fight. Then when you fight, the battlefield is your yajna sthali. That is your hundi, where you, or the yajna kunda, where you offer your sacrifice. Your Gandiva bow is your ladle spoon. How do you offer sacrifice in the yajna kunda? By pouring milk, curds, ghee. All that is offered through a spoon or a ladle. So he says your Gandiva bow is your ladle and spoon. Who is the ahuti? Who is the price of sacrifice? It is the Kauravas. And who will accept all this? It is Krishna. That is all that you offer as yajna. I will be accepting this as yajna purusha. So with that, Brahma Arpanam Brahma, where we are speaking and hearing, and we are offering our consciousness to Krishna. This is how Krishna tells Arjuna that by fighting this battle as a Kshatriya, you can still attain my abode and you will be free from any karmic reactions. Thank you. And now we will just come to the summary of what we have discussed so far. This chapter has an acronym of years, because transcendental knowledge, transcendental learning happens through listening. What does the year stand for? E is eternal education. A is accurate understanding. R is removing reactions. S is sacrifice. Yajna acharata karma. E, eternal education. What is the eternal education we learned? He says how he appears in every yuga. Yada yada hi dharmasya. I manifest to create the love of God. What is the purpose of his appearance? He says, Paritranaya sadhunam, delivering the devotees and destruction of the evil. Janma karma chame dimyam. So Lord's birth and activities are eternal. Man maya, man upashritaha. Take refuge in me. You will become purified and you will attain love for me. A. Accurate understanding. 11 to 15 verses. He says, Ye yatamam prapadyante. As all of you surrender unto me, I will reward you accordingly. Kankshanta karmanam siddhim. People worship demigods for quick results. Now the question is for us to decide whether we want to worship Krishna directly or we want to worship Krishna indirectly. Chaturvarnim maya srishtam. I have created 4 varnas and ashrama based on qualities and work. And the big message that comes out is varna is not by birth. And the biggest example is, if you are a son of a doctor, will you be a doctor? If you are a son of a lawyer, will you be a lawyer by birth? No. Similarly, just because by birth you are a Brahmana, you do not become a Brahmana. You have to earn the qualification to become a Brahmana. In 4.14, he says, Nama karmani limpanti, namam karmani limpanti. Krishna's work doesn't affect him. Evam gnatma krutam karma. Many souls in the past have attained perfection by coming to know about this transcendental knowledge. Or removing reactions. Karma, we should understand what karma, and karma is very difficult to understand. Gahana karmano gatihi. He defines karma, vikarma, akarma. In 4.20, he says, Tyaktva karma phalasangam. Renounce selfishness, not action. Yagna acharata karma. Action is for yajna. And yes, we will study in the next class. Thank you very much for your wonderful, patient listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes, Chetana.
Sir, when you were explaining verse 19, you said that it is about the Chaturvarnya. So when you said that Brahman is teaching, his sort of guideline is for him to teach as
Yes.
he is a Brahman.
Yes.
But supposing and so if he teaches, he does not get a reaction. Correct?
Correct.
So, so if I continue in my line of teaching, for example, I will not get a reaction.
Yes.
But if my son tomorrow joins the NDA and he becomes a soldier,
Right.
does that make him a Kshatriya? Because he is doing the karma because he is doing the action of fighting?
Now, this is a very good question. And I had explained this in the last chapter of Karma. See, none of us know our Varna in today's time. Because we are,
yes,
we
so
don't
we just
follow.
assume that because he is born in a Brahmin household, he becomes a Brahmin.
Yeah, that is the assumption. But the qualification to be a Brahmana is defined in Gita. He says, do you really understand me? Do you know a transcendental knowledge? Do you know Sankhya Yoga? Do you know Karma Yoga? Do you know Ashtanga Yoga? If you know all these things and you have cultivated the consciousness of deep surrender to me, then you become a Brahmana. Now, I am a son of a Brahmana. Am I really qualified to say that I am surrendered to Krishna? The honest answer is no. So, all of us don't know our Varna, but the question to your answer is, if your son joins the army and he fights, will he incur karma? I gave you this example. A soldier on the battlefield fighting to uphold dharma incurs no reaction. That is akarma as per Krishna. But that battle should be for upholding dharma, like in Kurukshetra. Kauravas were usurping the land of which belonged to Pandavas. Then Pandavas had every right to fight against the aggressor. That is upholding dharma. In that case, any soldier on the battlefield incurs no reaction. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Murari?
No, 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 no.
No questions. Ramesha, Santosh? Suresh?
No questions. Yeah.
No. Okay. If there are no questions, then my sincere request is, if you can, just briefly glance through the slokas, read the purports, then you will really understand how deep is this knowledge. And all of you who have a science or scientific bent of mind, you must read the purport of verse 1 and verse 2. They are long purports, and it gives fascinating definition of time. And if there are no questions, and then I will call the session to an end.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.